The people making real money with AI right now aren't doing what you think. Most beginners are wasting months learning party tricks. They are generating funny images of cats in space or asking ChatGPT to write pirate songs, thinking that is going to make them rich. It won't. I know this because I watched thousands of people make this exact mistake last year. They mastered the tools, but they stayed broke. Here is the hard truth about 2026. The easy money phase of just using ChatGPT is over. The market has matured. Clients and customers do not care that you used AI. They care that you solved their problem faster and cheaper than anyone else. If you want to move from playing with AI to actually depositing money into your bank account, you need a different set of skills, not coding, not complex math. I am talking about practical, high-value abilities that turn you into a one-person business. So today, I am going to break down the 9 specific AI skills you absolutely need to survive and thrive in this new economy. We aren't just talking about writing prompts. We are talking about automation, workflow integration, and data synthesis. This is the stuff businesses are desperate to pay for right now. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which skill to learn first to get your first client or launch your first side hustle this month. Stop guessing. Let's build your roadmap. Let's be honest about what your last 30 days looked like. If you are like most people trying to break into this space, you probably watched a dozen videos just like this one. You likely saved 5 different Twitter threads about the top 10 prompts for marketing. You might have even signed up for 3 different AI newsletters that clutter your inbox every morning. You feel productive. You feel like you are learning. You feel like you are part of the revolution. But if you look at your bank account, absolutely nothing has changed. This is what I call the AI illusion, and it is the single biggest reason beginners fail to make their first dollar. You get stuck in the consumption loop. You become a professional student of AI, collecting tools like trading cards, thinking that knowing about the tools is the same thing as having a skill. I know this trap intimately because I fell into it myself. When I first started exploring online income, I spent 2 months obsessing over the perfect setup. I learned every feature of every software. I could explain the technical differences between language models. I felt smart, but I was broke. I remember sitting in a coffee shop looking at my laptop, realizing I had spent 200 hours learning and had exactly 0 clients to show for it. I was a library of information that nobody wanted to pay admission to visit. Here is the reality check that most gurus won't give you. Businesses do not pay for AI. Let me repeat that because it is critical. No client wakes up and says, I want to pay someone to use ChatGPT today. They wake up saying, I have too many emails, or my marketing isn't working, or I need to analyze this data, but I don't have time. If you are just the AI guy who knows how to generate cool images, you are a commodity. You are competing with millions of other people who can also type a prompt into a box. And when supply goes up, prices go down. That is why you see people on freelance sites offering AI work for $5. That is a race to the bottom, and you do not want to win that race. But here is the flip side, and this is where your opportunity lies. While the market is flooded with amateurs who know how to press a button, there is a massive drought of professionals who know how to solve expensive problems. Freelancers who combine AI with specific high-value skills like workflow automation or strategic content planning are charging 3 to 5 times more than they were 2 years ago. This creates what we call the AI divide. On one side, you have the button pushers. They are fighting for scraps, worried that the next software update will replace them. And honestly, it probably will. On the other side, you have the problem solvers. These are the people who use AI to do things that used to be impossible for one person to handle. They aren't selling AI services. They are selling time. They are selling growth. They are selling peace of mind. If you want to be on the wealthy side of that divide in 2026, you have to stop treating AI as the product. AI is not the product. You are the product. AI is just the lever that makes you 10 times stronger than everyone else. The danger of ignoring this shift is real. If you stay in the button pusher mindset, you will eventually be replaced by a piece of software that costs $20 a month. That is the harsh truth. But if you cross the divide and learn the right skills, the ones we are about to cover, you become the person who operates that software. You become the architect, not the bricklayer. The good news is that most of your competition is lazy. They stop learning at the cool trick phase. They don't dig deeper. This means if you are willing to go just 10% deeper than the average person, you don't just compete, you dominate. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need a computer science degree, you just need to stop collecting tools and start building solutions. So, how do you cross that divide? How do you move from the side where people are fighting for $5 gigs to the side where people are building real sustainable wealth? The answer lies in a fundamental shift in how you view these tools. It is a framework I call the AI operator model. This is the solution to the tutorial hell we just talked about. And honestly, understanding this concept is worth more than any specific prompt I could give you. Here is the core philosophy. An amateur asks AI to do a task. An operator uses AI to build a system. Let me make this concrete for you. An amateur goes to ChatGPT and says, "Write me a blog post about coffee." They get a generic article, they paste it onto a website, and they wonder why nobody reads it and nobody pays them. They perform the task. An operator, on the other hand, doesn't just look at the blog post, they look at the entire workflow. They ask, how can I use AI to research trending coffee topics, outline the structure based on what is ranking on Google, draft the content in a specific brand voice, and generate the social media post to promote it, all in one seamless process. Do you see the difference? The amateur created a piece of text. The operator created a content engine. Clients will not pay you much for the text, but they will pay you a lot for the engine. The 9 skills we are about to cover are the specific tools you need to build these engines. They are the components of the operator model. When you master these, you stop being a freelancer who trades time for money and you start being a consultant who sells solutions. Now, I know what you might be thinking right now. You might be thinking, that sounds great, but it also sounds complicated. I am not a systems engineer. I am not a coder. I am just looking for a side hustle. Here is the I can do this moment you need to hear. You do not need to be technical to do this. If you can write a grocery list, you can build a system. If you can organize a closet, you can design a workflow. The hard part of this isn't the technology. The technology is actually getting easier every single day. The hard part is simply knowing which pieces to put together. It is about logic, not code. It is about asking what happens first, what happens next, and how can AI do the heavy lifting in between. This is actually the biggest opportunity I have seen in the last 10 years, because the tech bros are too focused on the code and the general public is too focused on the hype. There is a massive gap in the middle for normal, practical people who just want to make things work better. That is where you come in. When you learn these 9 skills, you become a full-stack problem solver. You become the person who can walk into a business or look at your own project and see exactly where the bottlenecks are. You won't just say, I can use AI, you will say, I can save you 20 hours a week, or I can double your output without hiring more staff. That is a language that everyone understands. That is a value proposition that gets invoices paid. And the best part, you don't need to master all 9 of these skills overnight to see results. Even learning just 1 or 2 of them puts you ahead of 99% of the population. Most people are still treating AI like a magic 8 ball. By simply understanding that AI is a systems tool, you are already winning. So, we are going to build your toolkit. We are going to go through these skills one by one, from the foundational stuff to the advanced strategies. We are going to move fast, and we are going to keep it practical. Forget the theory, forget the hype. We are going to focus on the skills that actually put numbers on the board. The first skill is the foundation of everything else. It is the one thing that, if you get it wrong, renders every other tool useless. It is the difference between an AI that sounds like a robot and an AI that sounds like a genius. Skill number 1 is context engineering. Now, you have probably heard of prompt engineering. Forget that term. In 2026, typing a clever sentence into ChatGPT isn't a skill, it is the bare minimum. Context engineering is different. It is the ability to feed the AI the right background information, brand guidelines, and examples so that it stops sounding like a generic robot and starts sounding exactly like your client. Here is why this matters. Most beginners go to ChatGPT and type, write a sales email for a gym. The AI spits out something cheesy with emojis and phrases like, unlock your potential. It is unusable. A business owner cannot send that. A context engineer does this differently. They don't just ask for the email. They first upload the gym's pricing sheet, 3 examples of emails the owner wrote in the past, and a list of the gym's unique selling points. Then they say, analyze the tone of these previous emails. Now, write a new one promoting the summer special using this specific pricing, maintaining that exact same casual but authoritative voice. The difference in output is night and day. The first one is trash. The second one is a deliverable you can sell. If you want to practice this today, here is a specific step you can take. Go to ChatGPT or Claude. Find a YouTube transcript from your favorite creator, maybe even this video. Paste it in and say, analyze this writing style. Describe the tone, sentence structure, and vocabulary. Once it understands that context, ask it to write a new post on a different topic in that same style. When you see how accurate it gets, you will understand the power of context. That is what businesses pay for. Skill number 2 is prompt chaining. This is the secret weapon of the true AI operator. Most people try to get the AI to do everything in one giant, messy request. They say, research this topic, write an outline, draft the article, and write the tweets. The AI gets confused, hallucinates facts, and gives you a mediocre result. Prompt chaining is the skill of breaking that big job into small logical steps, just like an assembly line. Imagine you are building a content engine for a client. Step 1, you ask the AI to research the top 5 questions people are asking about a topic. You stop and review. Step 2, you take those specific questions and ask for an outline. You stop and review. Step 3, you generate the introduction only. By breaking it down, you control the quality at every checkpoint. It takes a little longer, but the result is professional grade. I want you to think of this like a manager. You wouldn't tell an intern, go build the whole marketing campaign, and walk away. You would give them step-by-step instructions. You need to treat the AI the exact same way. If you can master the logic of breaking big problems into small steps, you are already ahead of 90% of freelancers. But here is the part most tutorials skip. Knowing how to prompt is great, but knowing how to automate those prompts is where the real wealth is built. This brings us to skill number 3, workflow automation. If context engineering is the brain, automation is the nervous system. This is where the real money is. This is where you stop trading time for money entirely. We are talking about tools like Make.com or Zapier. These are platforms that let different apps talk to each other. You don't need to know how to code to use them. You just need to understand logic. If this happens, then do that. Let me show you a real-world example of a set-it-and-forget-it system that is worth money. Imagine a local real estate agent. They get leads from their website, but they are too busy showing houses to reply instantly. You can build a simple automation for them. First, a lead comes in via a Facebook form. Second, Zapier catches that lead and sends the name and interest to ChatGPT. Third, ChatGPT writes a personalized welcome email referencing the specific neighborhood they asked about. Fourth, the system sends that email automatically and adds the lead to a spreadsheet. The real estate agent didn't touch a thing. The lead got a perfect reply in 30 seconds. You just saved that business owner hours of work and probably helped them close a deal. You can charge a setup fee of $500 to $1,000 for that system, and it might take you 2 hours to build once you know how. This is the skill that scares people because it looks technical. But look at the screen. It is just drag and drop. It is connecting lines between bubbles. If you can draw a flowchart, you can build an automation. Skill number 4 is data synthesis. Businesses are drowning in data. They have spreadsheets of sales, lists of customer feedback, and logs of website traffic. They have no idea what any of it means. In the past, you needed a data analyst who knew SQL or Python to make sense of this. Now, you just need to know how to upload a file to an AI model. Here is the play. You ask a client for their last 6 months of sales data or customer reviews. You upload that CSV file to ChatGPT using the data analyst feature. You ask one simple question. What are the 3 biggest trends in this data that the business owner might be missing? The AI might tell you, hey, 40% of your negative reviews mention that the shipping is slow on Tuesdays. Boom. You just gave that business owner an insight that saves them money. You didn't do the math, the AI did. You just knew to ask the question. That is the skill. Skill number 5 is visual consistency. We all know AI can make pretty pictures, but businesses don't need pretty pictures. They need a brand. They need a character that looks the same in every shot. They need a color palette that matches their website. Tools like Midjourney have features specifically for this, things like style reference and character reference. The skill here isn't typing cat on a skateboard. The skill is generating a specific mascot for a brand and then being able to put that exact same mascot in 10 different scenarios without it morphing into a different character. If you can offer a brand asset package where you create consistent visuals for a company's blog, newsletter, and Instagram, you are solving a massive headache for them. They don't want art, they want assets. Skill number 6 is voice and audio engineering. The era of robotic text-to-speech is dead. Tools like 11 Labs can now clone voices with frightening accuracy or generate entirely new voices that sound emotionally resonant. Why is this a skill? Because content creators are burned out. Podcasters want to release more episodes but don't have time to record. If you can take their script, use a high-quality clone of their voice, and produce an audio version of their newsletter, you are giving them leverage. But it is not just about hitting generate. It is about pacing. It is about adding pauses. It is about fixing the pronunciation so it doesn't sound glitchy. That human ear is the value you add. You are the producer. Skill number 7 is AI-assisted research. This is huge for business writing. Tools like Perplexity or Consensus allow you to find real, cited facts instantly. Most writers are lazy. They Google something, click the first link, and rewrite it. With AI research tools, you can dig deeper. You can say, find me 3 academic studies from 2024 that support this argument. If you are writing content for a health brand or a financial advisor, accuracy is everything. Being the person who delivers content that is actually fact-checked and cited makes you incredibly valuable. You aren't just a writer, you are a researcher. Skill number 8 is no-code prototyping. This is a new one, but it is exploding. Tools like Claude Artifacts or Cursor allow you to build simple web apps just by describing them. Let's say a client is using a messy Excel sheet to track their inventory. You could say, give me that sheet, paste it into Claude, and say, turn this into a clean, interactive dashboard where I can click buttons to add stock. In 30 seconds, you have a working mini app. Is it the next Facebook? No. Is it better than their messy spreadsheet? Absolutely. You can sell that internal tool as a product. You are solving a workflow problem with software that you built without writing a line of code. And finally, skill number 9 is the human-in-the-loop audit. This is the most important skill of all. It is the ability to look at AI output and instantly spot what is wrong. It is the taste factor. It is knowing that the AI used the word delve 3 times in one paragraph. It is noticing that the hands in the image have 6 fingers. It is realizing that the tone of the email is slightly too aggressive. As AI gets better, the world is going to be flooded with average, good enough content. The premium will be on curation. The person who can take the 80% draft from the AI and polish it into the 100% final product is the person who gets paid. You are the editor-in-chief, you are the creative director. The AI is just the intern. So look at this list. Context engineering, prompt chaining, workflow automation, data synthesis, visual consistency, audio engineering, research, prototyping, auditing. Notice what isn't on this list? Coding Python, advanced calculus, machine learning theory. These are operational skills. They are practical. They are about getting things done. You might be feeling a mix of excitement and overwhelm right now. 9 skills sounds like a lot. Here is the I can do this reality check. You do not need all 9. In fact, trying to learn all 9 at once is a mistake. To get your first client to pay you $1,000, you only need one of these. You can build a whole side hustle just on workflow automation. You can build a whole business just on visual consistency for brands. The goal isn't to be a jack of all trades. The goal is to pick the one that resonates with you, the one that made you nod your head while I was talking, and go deep on that. Because once you have one of these skills, you have something to sell. And once you have something to sell, you need to know who to sell it to. That is the missing piece for most people. They learn the skill and then they sit in their room waiting for the phone to ring. It won't. So, how do we take these skills and actually turn them into your first paycheck? How do we find the people who are desperate for this help? This is where most tutorials leave you hanging. They give you the tool, but not the business plan. We are not going to do that. Here is the specific action plan for the next 24 hours. This is non-negotiable if you actually want results. I want you to pick just one skill from this list. Not 3, not 2. 1. Maybe it is workflow automation because you like logic, or maybe it is voice engineering because you listen to podcasts and see the potential. Once you have picked it, I want you to spend the next week building one tangible project with it. If you picked automation, build a system that organizes your own emails. If you picked research, write a deep dive report on a topic you love complete with citations. Don't try to sell it yet, just build it. Prove to yourself that you can wield the tool. When you have that project in your hand, you have something 99% of the AI experts on social media don't have. You have proof of competence. That is your ticket across the divide. The gap between watching this video and making money isn't a lack of information anymore. It is a lack of focus. Most people will click off this video and go watch a gaming stream. They will forget everything they just heard. Don't be most people. Be the operator. We are going to be diving deep into exactly how to find your first client for each of these skills in the next few videos. We will cover the outreach scripts, the pricing models, and the proposal templates. So if you want the business side of the equation, make sure you are subscribed. Remember what I said at the start? You don't need to be a genius to do this. You just need to be helpful. You now have the roadmap. Now go build the engine. I will see you in the next one.